I don't have one for chapter 9. What's the additive in the blue tube?
Sodium.
What does the color coding on the caps of the needle indicate?
Size.
What's the technical term?
Gauge.
Oh, there we go again, in case you didn't catch it the first time. What department does the SPS tube belong?
Chemistry.
Chemistry and blood bank. No, it's my
Oh, biology.
Is it blood bank too?
No, just micro.
Just micro. Remember, ACD goes to blood bank.
Okay.
Okay.
So on the test, it won't say like it says on our chart. It won't say SPS like
No.
the ACD.
No.
So SPS goes to micro, and then the other
ACD
one
goes to blood bank.
Okay.
I added the ACD. They don't hardly talk about that ACD at all. It's always SPS, second in the order of draw, first for the tubes, but you have the blood cultures. So let me explain what I have come to know about the SPS tube, just so you understand. So SPS goes to micro. So when we do blood cultures, we do chlorhexidine to clean the skin because it's a bigger zapper of bacteria. It's gonna really clean that skin. So they say that you can draw blood cultures in the SPS tube, but then what has to happen is that they have to be transferred into the blood culture tube. So that's a lot of contamination that can happen. I've never seen that happen. I've never seen an SPS tube used and then put in a blood culture. Just haven't ever seen it. That's where the SPS and micro come together. I just thought I'd explain that. But just know that it comes second, it has the SPS in it, goes to micro, okay? Which tube is used for nutritional and trace elements? It's not in our normal order of draw. It's on the table in the lab. I think some of the labs have talked about it. Say it loud and proud, Tina. See, I hear her, she's like this. Yes, trust yourself, it's royal blue. I'm not picking on you, Tina.
I have a question. So
What's that?
will royal blue be on our test on our Thursday?
Possibly,
Okay.
yeah.
So we need to learn, there's more in the book than there was on.
No, don't worry about all the other ones. Maybe the royal blue you do want to know.
Okay.
Okay. You got it, Tina? All right. What tube should be used first when collecting for a coagulation procedure using the butterfly needle? What is it?
Light blue.
It's either blue or green. It's light blue, but you have to use a empty one first.
And what's that empty one called?
I can't remember.
Just discard.
Discard.
Too.
Yeah. So remember, because of the air in the tubes, who explained it earlier? Because of the air in the tube, you did, Kara, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. The air in the butterfly tubing has air in it. So if we fill the coag tube, and I know we just talked about this earlier, that coag tube has to have a 9-to-1 ratio. If you're using a butterfly, the air is going to get in there before the blood, so it's going to fill that tube with some air. Everybody understand that? So we don't want that, so we will pop on a discard. Usually it's the white tube. If we don't have white, then we'll use the light blue or a red non-additive with no clot activator. You're blank, I see that. So you know what the butterfly looks like, right? So it has air in it. Any other tube, you getting this, Miracle? Any other tube that we use, we don't have to worry about with the butterfly. So it's only the coag. So say we had to do blood cultures in a coag tube. Would we need that discard?
No, because you already did it.
Yeah, so blood cultures would take that air. So then when because remember it's blood cultures, yellow, light blue. So if we had to do blood cultures and then light blue, we wouldn't need a discard because the air is,
So if you're only doing coag though, you would use a different tube and then
it's
let
called
the
a
air-
discard. It's called a
you'd
discard
use the
tube.
discard tube and then put the light blue one on?
Yes, and again, that discard, ooh. I got show and tell.
Would you fill up the light tube?
No.
The discard?
That's what I'm gonna show you.
Just a little.
So we only need what we say is a ml of blood, which is a very short amount. All right, so here's the butterfly. So I'm gonna pop on my, yeah. So I'm gonna pop on my, I'm drawing the patient's blood, pop on the white tube. Okay, it's discard. If the site does not have a discard tube, some of them don't, you can either use another light blue, but again, only fill it a mil. So a mil is about right to here, just a little bit, just to get the air out of here. And again, even on this one, a little bit. I always say, if you're gonna use a light blue one, just, and it's a busy day, don't fill this whole blue one for the discard. Fill it only a little bit, so then that way you know which one to discard into your sharps container. We're gonna get rid of this, we're gonna throw it out.
Okay, now I understand.
Okay, does that make sense? We can also use a red top. This one has a clot activator in it though. Do we wanna use this one?
No.
Why not? And what's this additive gonna do to it? Come on, Janine, think. Tell
It's
me
gonna
more. What's that?
I'm not sure.
it's
Okay.
gonna contaminate the light blue tube because you're not doing it in the proper order of draw.
Well, no, I'm gonna say no to that. What's gonna happen, this is a clot activator tube. So, clot activator. This is an anticoagulant tube. So if we put this one on first, and this one it has to do with clotting, right? This one is anticoagulant. We're gonna see how much the patient's blood clots or doesn't clot. So if we have a clot activator before this, it can skew the results. This is a clot tube too, anticoagulant. We're checking on clotting. I see that.
Red had no additives though.
This one has clot activator, and it says it right here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I have a red tube. I have some in the lab.
Okay.
If it doesn't have anything, I think it'll say serum on it. Because, and this one actually has no additive. The red might say no additive, or it'll just say serum on it, okay? Because some tubes, you gotta look at them, you gotta know which ones are which, what not to use. Are we good? Everybody understand that? Okay. 9-to-1 ratio, I'll get all this mess in a second. All right. So first tube used is discard. Make sure you know the terminology, okay? How deep do the safety lancets for newborns stick?
2.
Good. 2 mils. Everybody got that? How about for an adult?
3.
Good. How many times should the purple tube be inverted?
8.
Okay. So remember, the purple tube does not get spun down. It's the hematology tube does not get, and when I say spun down, it does not go on to the centrifuge. Remember how this tube was already on the centrifuge and I just had it. Because usually it will look like this. Pretend this is a gold top. Gold and speckled are the same, just different volumes, different manufacturers. So this tube started like this one, just with the thixotropic gel, okay? We spun it down. The red blood cells are heaviest. They go to the bottom. Thixotropic gel separates the serum. If we invert this one, it's all good, okay? So these all can be spun down. The purple tube does not get spun down. What happens to it is it just goes on a rocker. Another student in the Monday, Wednesday class said, I get my A1C checked and they have this little thing where it just goes back and forth. And I said, on the rocker. She's like, and I kind of demonstrate like this. So A1C, if you look at your sheet, the requisition sheet that I gave you, A1C is in a purple tube, but it's a chemistry test. It's the one tube that's in a hematology tube, but it's a chemistry test. Why, I'm not sure. It's way above me. Okay, so make sure you know that as well. Okay, so they do not get spun down, they go on a rocker. We all good? Pushing the plunger on a syringe to fill a tube can cause what? So remember, here's the syringe. Okay, well, we have our transfer device. Pop the tube on, and the blood should come right, so it's plunging down because of that negative pressure. So if we plunge it, what do you think can happen to it, the blood? Hemolyzation, yeah. Okay. You know, and I will tell you in lab when we get to that point, if you got the blood and the plunger's not going down, push it, let the lab tell you that it's hemolyzed. Because if you got the blood, we don't want to just throw it away, okay? Make sense? We'll talk about that more. What's another name for butterfly?
25 gauge.
No, that is one of them, but it's 23 is most widely used, 25 is for a baby.
Okay.
So,
Is it 2 winged or something?
winged and something. Winged infusion set. So you would probably get it because of word association. You would see that winged, right? So long as there wasn't another winged something in there. Where are needles disposed of immediately after blood collection? Good.
I think we missed 400 in the other one.
I'm sorry?
I think we missed 400 in the
No,
other.
I didn't click on it. We'll go back just to make sure. What device is used when small amounts of blood are needed?
Lancet.
Oh, okay.
I had gone ahead
Did it anyway.
Go back to this question. What is the order? So what did we say was the answer?
Lancet.
And what are lancets used for?
Small amounts of
And
blood.
what kind of procedure are we going to do?
EDTA.
Not yet on that.
Oh, okay.
What's that? Janine?
She said,
Oh, what is it?
I was saying it's for the glucose test.
Right. It's so. And how are we going to perform it?
oh, stenodermal.
Right. Skin, dermal, capillary. Right. So what's the order of draw? Do you guys remember the order of draw for?
EDTA, other additives, and
Good. EDTA, other additives, non-additives. Okay, I think we went through that earlier today too, didn't we? Or, I don't know, it might have been yesterday. You good? If a tourniquet is left on too long, which test can show false elevation? What's that? Good. What's the number one step in the venipuncture procedure?
Washing your hands.
What is it? Identifying the patient. To prevent infection is hand washing. In any procedure, it's the IDing the patient. Oh, I think that's it. Okay, when red blood cells break apart and collect a blood specimen, what's this called?
Lysing, hemolysis.
Good. Remember that?
right.
This agency implemented standard precautions.
CDC.
Good. Making sure everybody's good. A phlebotomy tray, doorknobs, pens that carry germs.
Fomites.
Inanimate objects, right? This stops the blood from coagulating in the tube.
Anticoagulants.
Yeah, anticoagulants, right? What tubes do not have anticoagulants?
red and the gold.
And what do they have?
Red has
Serum.
Is what? Go ahead, Janine.
Doesn't have no, right?
Right, red has nothing. What does it produce? Let me ask you that. What are we gonna get when we spin them down?
Serum?
Serum. I'm just trying to go outside the box.
So when you spin it,
Serum.
Okay.
Remember that's serum, and when can we spin a serum tube?
30 to 60 minutes
And why is that?
to clot.
So it clots. Remember I talked to you guys about that nurse in the ER? I talked to you guys about that. She was ready to throw that nice filled speckled tube, and it was clotted, and that's why she thought she should throw it away. We want the serum to clot. They have to clot 30 to 60 minutes, bless you, before we can spin them. That's why serum sits, plasma pronto.
so
Okay?
even though the red tube has no additives, it still turns into a serum?
Right.
Once you spin it out? Okay.
And let's take that a step further. So it doesn't have any what in it?
Doesn't have any additives, right?
Any, well,
Anticoagulant.
anticoagulants. We're gonna go with anticoagulants because the anticoagulants are gonna make it not clot, and that's what we have to make sure we can
You
do.
want the red clot.
We want the red and the speckled to clot, okay? Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, okay, I think that's it. Yeah, we don't have any more. All right.